Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, both published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today, we are going to be... Today, we're going to be looking at the bookshelf behind me and talking about my Signet and Bantam Classics collection. So I started collecting classic novels when I was a kid in the little Signet paperbacks and the little Bantam Classic paperbacks. And so I'm going to go over the ones that we've got here in the collection. So let's just show you. I mean, this is my bookshelf that I have downstairs. I've got my elephant hunting rifle up there, my Conan sword, a skull, a few swords over there. You can see up here I've got some swords and spears, and then right here I've got some great framed. You know, when you get your books published, you might as well get the covers framed because they look super dope framed. And then you might as well surround yourself with all sorts of cool shits and knickknacks. And over here we've got swords on the wall. We've got spears. I mean, I got just those are all the awards I've won in law enforcement. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about the book collection. This is my book collection down here in my writing studio. I've got the library upstairs full of all of my novels and things. Right here we've got all my nonfiction books. We won't go over, but we're going to go over this section of books. We'll take the pirate ship down. We'll put it down here next to the pirate cutlass. We're going to go over this section of books, maybe this section a little bit, and then, of course, this section of books, because I want to show people my Signet and so as you can see on the spines, the Signet Classics look like that. The Bantam Classics, well, they're a little harder to read, but they've got this thing up there on the top that says Bantam Classics. And these books I started collecting when I was a kid, and I still have all of them. But let's go through and look at some of my favorite classic novels and talk a little bit about them. Here we've got the Signet Classic of Les Mis. You know, I have read this book. I have also seen the Broadway play in New York City on Broadway. Victor Hugo. This one I bought in college, I believe. I believe I bought this one in college. I don't think I bought this one in high school. Moby Dick I bought right after college, so it is also not something that I had in high school. One of my favorite classic novels, though, Moby Dick. I love whaling. I love the cover they've done here. Now, we'll talk about the covers, too. That cover's pretty dope also. Now, my second favorite, I will tell you who my favorite is later, but my second favorite classic writer is Thomas Hardy, and these are a mix of Bantam Classics. I don't know if you can see the Bantam Classics there. They're a mix of Bantam Classics, which have the little bird on the spine, and the more noticeable Signet Classics. So we've got a mix of them. But I love, I think if I could write, I mean, this guy's writing is just beautiful. There's Jude the Obscure, Far from the Madding Crowd. I collected these probably also in college. Tess, this is the first one I ever read. Tess of the Dubervilles, The Return of the Native. I really like that cover. And then The Mayor of Casterville. This one I bought just recently, so I can't say that I've had it that long. Now here's one that I bought in high school. Alexander Dumas, The Three Musketeers. This also is a Signet classic. You can see I love the cover. Absolutely love it. The spine looks dope. The back is cool. Also by Alexander Dumas, we've got the Man in the Iron Mask. This one I bought probably in college. This was not a high school purchase. And then the Count of Monte Cristo. I think that covers a little, it's one of the Bantam Classics. I do have another Count of Monte Cristo over here. So here's some hardcovers I've got we'll take the plastic pirate pistol and we'll set it down here by the... Should we set it by the crystal ball, the Frank Frazetta sculpture, or over by the Motley Crue books? We'll set it by the Motley Crue books. So I've also got this Count of Monte Cristo. This is the unabridged Count of Monte Cristo. This is the 1,200-page volume. The thing that's disappointing about this Bantam paperback, it is an abridged volume. One of the other classic writers that I love is Jane Austen. Now, these are a set that I bought just recently because they all look, and they are the Signet Classics. And they all looked good on the shelf together. So I liked, because I had a mismatch of a whole bunch of these. I had a mismatch of and so I got these so they looked all nice on the shelf. I think the covers could be a little better. I mean, each one of them just has some goofy little design. But that's not why I got them. I actually got them because I liked the way the spines all matched. And I could tell my Jane Austen collection. And then I also got Emily Bronte, Wuthering Heights. This is a great book. This is one of the... this is also a Signet Classic paperback. Wuthering Heights, I love that. That's a really dope looking book right there. The brooding character, and then Villette, and then another Bronte. Then we've got Emily Bronte and Charlotte Bronte. We've got two Brontes. These are Bantam Classics, as you can see by the little birdie. And I love this painting. This is a great painting. Just an elegant cover they did. This is one of the reasons I get these, is just the aesthetics. Again, Jane Eyre, probably my favorite classic novel written by a female author is Jane Eyre. We've got Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Now, this is a newer version. This is also a Signet Classic. This is a newer version. My older version had kind of an even worse cover than that. Dracula is a Bantam. It's kind of got a creepy cover. And then we've got Vanity Fair, which I bought probably in college also. I love this cover. This cover is just a beautiful Victorian painting. And then, of course, on this shelf, last but not least, we have my Sherlock Holmes omnibuses. The both of them right there, they look pretty dope together. I mean, that looks like Sherlock Holmes. It does, even if it didn't say Sherlock Holmes, that looks like Sherlock Holmes. And those are Bantam. Those are, again, of the Bantam Classics. We will brush by here real quick. We will come back to these. Let's go continue with the paperbacks, though. Charles Dickens. I hated Charles Dickens in high school because I was forced to read this book, Tale of Two Cities. Not only was I forced to read it in high school, but my teacher made me illustrate it. I was a good artist in high school. It never pays to be a good artist in high school because you always have to do art projects for your teachers. Teacher wanted me every other student just had to do a book report on this book. I had to do a book report plus illustrate the whole fucking thing. But anyway, I didn't start appreciating Charles Dickens till I got much older, probably in my late 20s. And then I started buying a lot of these. And these are a mishmash of Signet Classics and Bantam. Here's a Oliver Twist. We've got the Great Expectations. The Hard Times. I love that cover. By the way. That's really good. To Tale of Two Cities, we won't pull that one out again. This is a more modern version of David Copperfield. My older version, I didn't like the cover too much. I did like this. The Pickwick Papers. Great. Okay, now, Wilkie Collins. Probably my third favorite classic writer of all time. And I think my favorite cover. One of my top 10 favorite covers of any book. And this is one of the Bantam Classics. The illustration done by a painter named Whistler. This is The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. Also by Wilkie Collins, we have The Moonstone, which also has a great painting, but this is a Signet Classic paperback. So I really like Wilkie Collins. Wilkie Collins and Charles Dickens were contemporaries and pretty good friends. For my money, though, Wilkie Collins was the better writer and better storyteller. We have Rob Roy by Sir Walter Scott. Now, that is a more modern book. However, this Ivanhoe book is a book I bought in high school and read in high school, and I still have it. Both Sir Walter Scott's. And then Le Morte d'Arthur. This is a more modern look. I had an older version of this, but I got rid of it because I really like this more modern cover. So Ivanhoe, Rob Roy, Le Morte d'Arthur. Those are all Signet classics. And then we move to Cervantes and the Don Quixote. I like that. What a weird book. This is probably the single most weird book anyone will ever read. And you have to just read it to see how weird it is. It is bizarro. Now we've got some Mark Twain. We've got The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Again, stuff that I got in high school. These are some directly from high school. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. These are Bantam Classics, as you can see. The King Knight, Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, illustrated by Howard Pyle. So let's set these over here, and let's just get a good look at that Howard Pyle illustration. That is freaking awesome. And then, of course, we've got the Prince and the Pauper, and this looks almost like a Maxfield Parrish painting. I think it is a Maxfield Parrish painting. But that is the Mark Twain collection. We've got they are all Bantam. Yeah, they are all Bantam books. And then we've got another Bantam book, The Call of the Wild White Fang. Yes, this is another one I got. This is another one from high school. Let's pull out now Little Women. This one I just bought recently after seeing the most recent Little Women movie. And then we get my Russian writers. We've got Dostoevsky with the Brothers Karamazov. That's a Signet classic. And Crime and Punishment, another Signet classic. I bought these probably 20 years ago. And then my favorite classic novelist of all time, Leo Tolstoy. I have had these novels for a long, long time. Probably since college. I love Leo Tolstoy. And my favorite classic novel of all time, of course, is War and Peace. That's a Signet classic. That is a Bantam classic. My favorite classic novelist of all time. Now let's move over here and look at some of these. We've got the complete William Shakespeare here. Got the Count of Monte Cristo. We've got a big version of Les Mis. We've got a leather bound of Ivanhoe. This is my, of course, Lord of the Rings. I guess we can call those classics too. Moby Dick, my Herman Melville. King Arthur. This is the Howard Pyle. And then we've got Le Morte d'Arthur. And then again, some more versions of my favorite author of all time. No, my favorite classic author of all time. Probably one of my top 10 favorite authors. But anyway, that is my Signet and Bantam Paperback Classics collection.